Yo, what's happening? Let me turn my music down 1 second. There we go. So, how you doing, guys and girls? Let me switch to the screen here. All right. So what have we had in the last 24 hours? Let's go to the hourly time frame here. Let's hide some of this just so we can see. Really nice movement. We cracked 17,000. Let me get those price levels back in. Oh no, they're on. That's cool. That's cool. So our 2023 high is just a touch below 17.5. Where did yesterday's stream end? It was like... it's got a logarithmic. Let me just turn that off. Okay, 9... Yeah, somewhere around like down here still. So yeah, we did break 17. That's right. We broke 17 the day before yesterday. Yeah, and then here we are trending up and trying to get back up to the June low. So that's going to be a big moment if we manage to come and test that as a high. Now we do have CPI coming up. CPI data is coming up. Let me just delete this Fibonacci. This channel's still relevant, but I'm gonna hide it for now. Actually, not delete it, just hide it. All right, and then. Now, if we really dial down on the short time frame here, let's turn on the EMAs and the clouds. You can see we're currently on, this is a very small time frame, the 5 minute. So we've come in and gone into like an area of indecision, I guess. We did have a Kumo twist, red Kumo twist, so there could be a bit of a drawdown on the cards here. We haven't really back tested some key levels that we broke through recently. So there's this high here, which I would be drawing a line across something like this. And yeah, there's a bit of a gap there. Like you can see this giant candle that went up, that may, I think it's reasonable to sort of see a possibility of that getting filled and maybe meeting support on this resistance here before bouncing and getting that rally. But yeah, hard to say. We did have that death cross on the 5 minute here not long ago, right? Let's change this back to that. All right, on the 1 minute, let's really dial in what's happening. So we've got a cloud break to the upside. Our 200 EMA is acting as resistance right now, and it has been for the past, few swings here, but it's coiling and we're starting to maybe get a break. Got like 7 minutes until the daily close. So we're getting there. All things start on the 1 minute, yeah? And then change can start on the 1 minute first, and then it moves up to the 5 minute, where you get, a change happening on the 5 minutes. So it looks like it's trying to coil up and curl around and do a golden cross on the EMA. We certainly got our death cross here on the 5 minute. Let's check the 15. The 15's all still bullish. We've got a huge green cloud here on the 15. We're dealing with a golden cross still, so by no means have we crossed down yet. These candles have been interesting though on the 15. Look at the DOGEs here. Really long tails, which means there's a lot of buyers holding it at this, on top of this bubble here. So if you can think about it like that, and we're trying to establish some kind of turning point, but those buyers just aren't stepping in yet. We'll see. Keep an eye on it. How's the 1 hour cloud looking? Yeah, we're still well above. Nothing has changed in that regard yet. 4 hours, yep, awesome. Really nice EMA crossing, and we're so distant from the cloud. That's obviously a big sign of volatility. We've got that ripper move that's come up all year. This all year so far. First 11 days. Or 10 days have been really good. So what does that mean for the daily? I think we're fighting to get through this massive red cloud at the moment. Let me hide this one just so we can really zoom in on it. See, that's what we got. And it's crazy how that FTX drop caused the clouds to leave this really thin line, to where you can't even see it, This thin, where the clouds reform, and we've got this massive giant red ship above us. But given time, even if it does reject us a little, this cloud, if we just chop sideways, or even somewhat down, if we can clear past this structure here of the cloud, there's bluer skies ahead, you know what I mean? There's less of a challenge. Trying to break through it through the thickest part of the cloud is very tricky. So we might need another, let's see, another fortnight, another 2 weeks, right? 14, 15 days before we get out of this, or beyond this red cloud. And then hopefully we can start using this green cloud as a bit of optimism. Hopefully it stays green too, by the way. We'll see. So we're 4 minutes out from the daily closing. It's looking pretty good, huh? Let's go to the 1 minute. Now the reason I have this line drawn in that we're approaching right now, this blue line, is because of these points of resistance here. Support here. Support there. Resistance. And yeah, it's stayed under this level. So we need to crack back above that SR level before we can retest the current yearly high, $17,500 basically. Fairly big psychological number there, 17.5. So the previous event that happened was the speech by Jerome Powell. Nothing really became of it. Nothing. He didn't say anything about the economic situation with inflation, and nothing. No hints about what the FOMC are thinking about policy going forward. So, yeah, it was a nothing burger. Now, the S&P 500, let's have a look. So on the 15-minute chart, the final 15-minute candle of the day in the stock market was beautiful. Awesome cloud penetration there. EMA's crossing up. Let's check the hourly. We're very elevated above the cloud structure. So it's short time frame bullish, right? On the S&P 500. Let's check the 4 hour. Yeah, we're facing some trouble ahead. We've got clouds above, which is, might prove to be kind of difficult to break through that. It doesn't mean it's impossible. It can happen. You can get candles coming up and penetrating the cloud, but just got to be cautious with your expectations there. On the daily with the S&P, we're just stuck in a massive cloud. There's been a Kumo twist, a red Kumo twist, but it's thin. It's kind of like, to me, that spells like indecisiveness. Aussie CPI, so Aussie Consumer Price Index, the Australian one. The fuck is this? Yeah. I haven't really sort of kept in tune with the Australian interest rates and what inflation is here and all that sort of stuff. I haven't, yeah, because it doesn't really have an impact on the global stage. I think it's more so an impact just if you're trading Australian stocks, really, the ASX. But anyway, that's the stock market. So we know that the sentiment is healthy. The DXY is retraced beautifully. It's like basically on the floor here. Bit of a consolidation. If we get a really good CPI result, which I think is gonna happen, that's my bet anyway. Don't hold me to it, but I think pretty sure it's gonna be positive. But yeah, if it's positive, obviously we would expect the DXY to continue this corrective trend, right? This downtrend. This Gala, we've been following this. I've been scalping it in and out. We are in this descending, seems to be like a descending triangle here. So it hasn't lost all hope just yet, but it is very elevated since a few days ago, right? It's come up so quickly, but that doesn't mean that it has to give it all back and retrace. There's potential for this to take off again. It's the same kind of situation as here, right? We exploded up and then we had to reset, we had to relax, and then there was the next one, and then we're relaxing again into a consolidation. Do we get another leg off this? Oh wow, Manny Popes, appreciate that little super sticker, appreciate it, thank you. Giggle. So I don't know, if you were an Elliott wave trader, this to me does kind of look like a 5-wave structure, like wave 1, pullback, wave 2, wave 3, the big explosive move, and then the pullback off that, wherever that's coming down to. And then maybe just maybe, we see a 5th wave. But yeah, we will see. 4-hour chart. So I'm gonna just hop back to Bitcoin here, and we've got the daily close. So we're onto a new day now. We're 2 minutes in. That final candle was a bit of a hammer on the hourly chart. Let's see how this this following hour plays out. See if we can maintain this level of consolidation that we're in. You know, maintain whatever this is, whether it's a flag or a pennant, whatever you want to call it, right? And then get a continuation to come and test the June low. But if not, then, you know, some cloud retesting might be on the cards on this hourly time frame, right? Like if we correct here, maybe get back in touch with the EMAs and the clouds before picking up again into CPI, which is here. That's pretty much it, guys. Like, I'm just looking at the levels, the key level of resistance. We've got a big psychological level of support below us, but there is this, the thing that concerns me is there's this big gap, like all through here, right? This gap needs to get, well, it doesn't need to, but it's there's a chance it could come back and fill this gap up. Because we haven't, like, once we broke through 17K, we have not looked back, kind of thing. You know, there's been no back test of 17 to hold as support. Now, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to do that, but, you know, for a sustained, like, trend up, it is nice to see when a move comes up to a high, pulls back to the previous high, comes up, makes a new high, pulls back to the previous, see how it's pulled back here to the previous high? Moved up and then broke that resistance, but we have not pulled back to these previous highs here. We have not tested them as support. So that's the gap. Now, as far as the stream goes today, it's going to be a little different. I'm going to wrap it up soon. Just a short one. I just wanted to update you guys with what I see and not ramble on too much. I think most of what I said yesterday is how I still feel now, today. There's been no major change or pivot in sentiment yet. So, yeah, keep your eye on this. This June low is a very big psychological level. And then not to mention we've got the 18K round number here, and then we've got our wick high, which is forming the top of this ascending or rising wedge, right? Let me get rid of the levels just quickly, just so we can look at the patterns. Oops. Delete these squiggles. Yeah, there we go. Daily, turn off all the indicators just so we can see it a bit clearer. Yeah, these are our structures. These are our wedges that we're still in. It was interesting, like, obviously this wedge is a bear, like it's a rising wedge, right? Bearish, textbook bearish pattern. We have done this so far. I was thinking maybe at this point we were really testing the support, and I was thinking maybe we do break down from there. But now that we've got this little curl up, perhaps we come to test the top of the wedge before getting rejected and then getting the breakdown. You know, to come and test a low here, 14K maybe. That could happen, right? That's my bearish scenario. My bullish scenario is that this rising wedge kind of gets ignored, or that this rising wedge is not a rising wedge and that it's an ascending triangle like this, which is a bit more neutral than a rising wedge. It's not as you know, bearish as a pattern. It's a bit more neutral, right? So anything can happen with those. That's like me trying to pull a you know, a positive sentiment there, a bullish bias, but you can find many examples of price falling into a rising, like an ascending triangle, and then breaking up out of it. You know, I'm not going to go looking for it because that'll take time. But there may have been one in 2021. Oh no, this was a descending triangle that broke bullish. Something like this, right? So it's a little bit different this time around. You could argue that this was a falling wedge too, right? Which is a bullish structure. Something like that. However you want to draw it. I mean, it looks more like that, and this was a bit of a fake out. A bull trap. Trap the bulls, move it higher. And then, look what came straight after it. A rising wedge, pretty much. Like, it would have been nice to see this peak come up, but at least with this, you got 3 touches here to the top side, and then, you know, oh, it's a bit of a stretch calling that a touch, but yeah, some nice action. This pretty much encompasses that whole move up, which is a rising wedge, a bearish structure, which we broke down textbook. We created a bull flag here, or another rising wedge, whatever you want to call it. Broke down out of that. Now this little bit in here is another one of these descending triangles. Something like that, right? And that broke up. It didn't break down. But yeah, these are the things to look for. Not to mention, you can probably like get regression trends on these as well, these moves that get broken. And like up to here. And like there. And like to like up here. Pretty handy tool, that regression trend tool. It lives over here. It's the second button down. I'd recommend favoriting it. Star it. Star all your favorite tools. Anyway, let's go back down to the here and now. What's happening right now? Key levels, price levels. Things might go quiet. We'll see. We'll see. How's Gala? Gala. Pretty nasty drop there. I was in a long. There was a long setup. Took it. Stopped out. Thank God for the stop loss, because damn. Pushed to the downside. All right, let me catch up with some of these comments here. What's up, David? What's up, Boxer? What's up, Sarah? Lex, Honest, Doge Moon, Jack, Serrano, Hasi, Manny, Siboku. My momentum goggles are on. Dogecoin. Still on trend here. This is the price to beat up here. Just 7.96 cents roughly. It's cool to see some higher lows getting set in here as it's like trying to climb. The scary thing about it is it kind of looks a bit rising wedge-ish, you know? It's getting a bit like that. It's not the craziest of rising wedges, but it is there, right? Just be careful on Dogecoin if you're trying to long it. You know, there might be an opportunity for a short. You get like a bit of a pullback maybe. But yeah, just beware of those structures and play it safe. I'll leave those there actually. Oops. Anyway, guys, that's a 25-minute stream for you. Yeah. Like I said, like much of what I said yesterday still stands today. I think there's going to be a lot more to talk about as price moves toward the CPI moment, right? We'll get. Seems to be the kind of event that causes the most volatility is CPI. So until then, guys, until next stream, I will see you there. I'll see you around. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.